Stop me if you heard this one before. Giant monsters in Japan. What? Oh, you have? Oh. Sorry to have wasted your time. Okay. It's common knowledge that we all love us some monster battles. There are over 30 Godzilla movies and more are still being pumped out to this day. I mean, kaijus and Japan are so closely linked that it would be like talking about New Zealand and not mentioning water. I don't know about that. And of course, this would sweep into the anime and manga industry. We have a plethora of Kaiju based series. Gridman, Darling in the Franxx, Evangelion, and if you really think about it, even Attack on Titan. You just have to squint your eyes really hard and then blindly agree with me. But there's been one series that has been popping off recently. Kaiju number 8. Before I get going, I just want to say that a very small percent of my viewers are subscribed, like a super tiny percent. So if you enjoy what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we are very close to that 1,000 mark. So anyways,
let's get scratching.
Living in a world where gigantic abominations frequently emerge sounds annoying enough. Like imagine you're having your toilet time and a gigantic eyeball just pops out of nowhere. Like dude, what the hell? I'm trying to take a dump. But what happens after the fighting is done and the heroes have gone home? That's where 32-year-old Kafka Hibino, the main character, comes in. Working as what's essentially a kaiju janitor, he cleans up the messes that the defense force, mainly the 3rd Division, make while they square up with the kaiju. Having dreams of eliminating all the kaiju and also to fight alongside a certain someone, Kafka has tried to join the 3rd Division but has failed every time because he is literal trash tier. However, with some encouraging words from Reno Ichikawa, a new part-timer who also wants to join the force, he decides to give the exam another shot, one of the many reasons being that this is his last year to qualify. The two having bonded over a way too close encounter with a kaiju, only surviving because of the commander of the 3rd Division, Mina. Alright, so here's where things get juicy. After he swallows his stepbrother's seed. No wait, that's for something else I'm writing, my bad. After a mysterious looking kaiju kinda just hops into his mouth, he becomes what's known as Kaiju numero 8. Having to not only hide that he's a kaiju from basically everybody, but also compete with people that are much stronger, experienced, and younger than he is. And trust me, they are no joke. Teenagers are already scary enough without all this super military training. Which I can confirm because in fact, regretfully, I was one myself one time. So I'm sure by now you noticed some similarities between this show and a couple of others. With the eating something to gain new abilities, which I don't know why some of these shows are doing right now, it's kinda disgusting. Joining a bigger organization to take down an ominous threat, and the whole zero to hero gig. Basically your standard shonen plotline. Now, why do I like it so much? Could it be that the designs of the kaijus are always interesting to look at? And that every battle with them, as long as you're not this guy, feels like a fight for life and death, leading to some very tense moments throughout the whole series, making even a non-final boss opponent a genuine threat, even against someone who's considered OP as far as the story goes, which then in turn lead to some explosively high-speed fights that if they get animated...
Oh god, it's so good. So good.
Or could it be that even though the series is relatively new and doesn't have that many chapters yet, all the characters are extremely likable? Especially Kafka, who is genuinely funny, and even with his very small potential of fighting ability in his base form, since you know, if he uses his power in front of people, he would most definitely be executed on the spot, is still a huge asset to the division with his knowledge of kaiju biology. Meaning that, yes, although his kaiju form is pretty busted, he's not only good for punching the bad guys away. And if given the natural talents of some of the other recruits, he would be a much larger force to be reckoned with. This being on his own merit and not only because he got a super power up, making you root for him because you actually believe in his abilities to improve. But what do I mean by his own merits? I mean that, by all intents and purposes, he's just a normal guy. I mean, let's look at Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen. He was a normal guy before he got his powers, but the guy was casually setting world records on the fly, holding his own against a high-level curse even before he learned how to use curse energy. But when you look at Kafka, he has nothing, almost dying to the kaiju that I mentioned before. I don't know about you, but I'm just more inclined to root for one over the other. And of course, no disrespect to Jujutsu Kaisen or Itadori or his besto friendo. Don't bully me for that opinion, please. Or could it be that for a few times in my godforsaken life, the story doesn't involve a teenager but a grown-ass man instead? Stop catering to the larger and potentially more profitable demographic and start catering to me, because I matter. Sorry about that. It could be all of those. But it's mostly Mina. Yeah, it's mostly Mina. One thing that I haven't liked so far are the villains of the story. Like I said, the manga is still in the early stages, but the antagonists haven't really done much yet. They just kind of show up, give some slaps, take some slaps, and then they just kind of dip. The pacing on the manga is pretty fast, so I'm pretty sure in about 2 weeks this is going to be an irrelevant point, but as it still stands, I have pretty high hopes. I can see Kaiju Kazuate. You know, I've been trying to do this different language thing with the numbers, but I don't know how it's gonna work out, honestly. Popularity-wise, I could see Kaiju number 8 following the same footsteps as Jujutsu Kaisen, as in already having a huge fan base based solely on the manga, but then absolutely blowing up when it gets the inevitable anime adaptation. So you might as well get ahead of the curve and start reading it now, you know, to avoid getting spoiled by the YouTube thumbnails. Good luck not getting Attack on Titan spoiled! Thank you for watching until the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe. I gotta say, even though I haven't uploaded in a while, the continued support means the world to me. I cannot believe how close we are to the big 1,000, and I cannot thank you guys enough for still hanging around here. Much love, much love. But anyways, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one.